Hello, darlings. You are welcome to Z Star Africa, your home of sizzling drama recaps. Today, we dive deep into Renuka's hatred towards Roshni and finally getting Tejas a new wife, and also exposing Roshni's involvement in Sachin's tragic accident to the entire family. Let's get into it. The episode begins with Roshni returning to the showroom to resume work and manage the business after her secret of coming from a poor background is revealed to the entire family. The customers are delighted to see her back and warmly welcome her presence. However, Tejas is visibly displeased. He firmly believes that Roshni should not be there, as she had previously been forbidden from participating in the business by Renuka after the revelation. Roshni pleads with Tejas to forgive her mistakes and allow her another chance. Despite her emotional appeals, Tejas remains unconvinced, hardened by the belief that Roshni has deceived him repeatedly in the past, and even considers ending the marriage. At the police station, Sachin is questioned intensely about the accident he was involved in. He repeatedly maintains his innocence, explaining that the accident was unintentional and caused by a brake failure. Despite knowing the truth about the car's condition, Aaron deliberately withholds this crucial information, allowing the blame to fall entirely on Sachin. The authorities consider canceling Sachin's driving license, ensuring that he would never be able to drive again. Eventually, Sayali reaches the police station. Seeing Sachin in such a vulnerable state, she becomes emotional but quickly gathers herself to comfort him. She reassures him and gently urges him to explain everything clearly to the police, hoping that the truth will prevail. Meanwhile, Mamta makes a taunting phone call to Renuka, sarcastically informing her about Sachin's alleged wrongdoing. Persh, unable to tolerate Mamta's hypocrisy and malicious tone, intervenes and abruptly cuts the call. Later, Sayali manages to bring Sachin home. Renuka is shocked and distressed by his battered and exhausted condition. However, instead of offering comfort, both Renuka and Tejas harshly reprimand Sachin, blaming him for his recklessness on the road and further deepening the emotional strain within the family. Sachin loses his temper as Tejas repeatedly accuses him of causing a serious road accident due to his alleged recklessness. Sachin firmly insists that he never acted intentionally and keeps explaining that the accident occurred because there was a technical fault in the car. However, Tejas refuses to listen. Along with Renuka, he holds Sachin responsible for turning their lives upside down. They even target Sayali, blaming her for standing by Sachin despite what they believe to be a criminal act. Overwhelmed by everything she has faced since morning, Sayali finally snaps. She strongly rebukes Tejas and Renuka for their insensitive and harsh behavior. Sachin then explains in detail how he risked his own safety to protect others on the road and tried his best to prevent further damage. Despite his explanation, Tejas remains unconvinced. He questions Sachin's honesty and points out that the police have arrested him, which, according to Tejas, proves his guilt. As the family discusses the details of the accident, Roshni begins to feel uneasy because of the part she played in helping Chaiti. The description makes her wonder whether Chaiti might have tampered with Sachin's car. When Renuka is informed that Sachin had suffered a brake failure, she is deeply shaken. She suddenly realizes that the strange uneasiness she felt earlier in the day may have been a bad omen. Sayali, meanwhile, suspects that Mr. Aaron is taking personal revenge on Sachin despite knowing that he is not truly at fault. Gradually, Sachin and Sayali come to the realization that Mr. Aaron is deliberately targeting Sachin out of personal vengeance, even though Sachin bears no real guilt. Later, Roshni accidentally overhears a conversation between Tejas and Renuka. Tejas mentions that Roshni is forbidden from entering the showroom. From his words, Renuka understands that Roshni has been secretly visiting the showroom regularly. Enraged by this disobedience, Renuka lashes out at Roshni and issues her a final warning, strictly banning her from the showroom. Hurt by Tejas's lack of support and constant criticism, Roshni feels emotionally drained and deeply wounded. Meanwhile, Sachin, while discussing the accident with his friends, becomes intoxicated. The conversation gradually shifts toward Aaron, fueling thoughts of revenge. Influenced by alcohol and anger, Sachin decides not to let Aaron go unpunished so easily. In his drunken state, he reaches Aaron's house along with his friends and creates a loud disturbance to wake him up. Suddenly, Aaron awakens and is shocked to find Sachin and a group of mischievous men standing outside, creating chaos. Aaron records a video of Sachin, who is creating a scene outside his house. Sachin is furious because his driving license has been cancelled despite him claiming innocence. Meanwhile, Sayali grows increasingly anxious as Sachin has not returned home late into the night. At Anya's request, when Sayali opens the main door, she is shocked to find Sachin and his friends completely intoxicated. Their shameless behavior deeply irritates her. She is embarrassed and angry, yet she tries to handle the situation quietly. Sayali firmly drags Sachin inside the house, ensuring that no further chaos is created. One by one, Sachin's friends also struggle to find their way back home. The next morning, a sober Sachin apologizes to Sayali for his unacceptable behavior the previous night. Although Sayali understands his frustration over losing his license, she clearly tells him that drinking and misbehaving cannot be justified under any circumstance. Sachin admits that the cancellation of his license has left him mentally disturbed and helpless. Sayali gently reassures him that things will improve with time and asks him to remain patient. Just then, Sachin receives an unexpected call from the police station. A few hours later, Sachin and Sayali arrive at the police station, where Sachin is questioned about his hostility towards Aaron. Sachin insists that he has no personal grudge against Aaron and accuses Aaron of acting out of jealousy. However, Aaron presents the recorded video to the police officer, showcasing Sachin's reckless and mischievous behavior. After watching the footage, the officer concludes that Sachin's actions were indeed inappropriate and warns him that his license will be cancelled permanently without any leniency. Sachin is asked to apologize to Aaron, but he refuses to bow down. Instead, he offers to clean Aaron's house as a compromise. Aaron coldly declares that he will make sure Sachin's license is cancelled at any cost. Later, Sayali scolds Sachin for his immature and impulsive actions. She urges him to negotiate peacefully with Aaron, but Sachin stubbornly ignores her advice. Elsewhere, Roshni becomes suspicious after noticing the unusual behavior of Tejas and Renuka as they leave for work. Curious, she secretly follows them and is stunned when they arrive at Shakuntala's house. Roshni overhears their conversation and is horrified to learn that Renuka is planning Tejas's second marriage without any guilt or hesitation. Renuka has even invited a pandit to fix the marriage date. Tejas himself is left speechless by his mother's shocking decision. From outside the house, Roshni listens in disbelief, shaken by Renuka's desperation. Later, Sayali video calls Sachin to check whether he has started drinking again. Sachin assures her that he has stayed away from alcohol. Upon returning home, Sachin quietly takes over household responsibilities after losing his job, determined to contribute in any way he can. He refuses to eat unless he feels he has earned his place in the house through service and effort. However, Renuka and Tejas seize this moment to belittle him, mocking his helplessness and unemployment. Their taunts cut deep, but it is Sayali who finally loses her patience. Unable to tolerate the constant humiliation directed at her husband, she explodes in anger. She fiercely rebukes Renuka, questioning her cruelty despite being a mother, and makes it clear that she will no longer tolerate insults against Sachin. Sayali reminds them that she has endured countless humiliations since entering the family, but Sachin is innocent and does not deserve such harsh treatment. Her bold stance leaves Renuka stunned and speechless. Roshni and Tejas attempt to support Renuka, but Sayali's determination overpowers them. Parsh also intervenes, scolding Renuka for her baseless and insensitive behavior, further strengthening Sayali's stand. Later, inside their room, Sayali consoles Sachin and discusses the tense situation. She reassures him that they will not give up so easily, and insists that they must fight to save his driving license. Despite her encouragement, Sachin feels defeated and hopeless. His fears deepen when he receives a call from the police station informing him that the final judgment regarding his license will be announced that very day. Sachin begins to believe that all hope is lost. Meanwhile, Akash is shown struggling under an overwhelming workload at the restaurant. He barely gets a moment to sit and eat his lunch as he remains busy serving customers. Riya urges him to at least take a break and eat something, but Akash continues working relentlessly. Concerned, Riya informs Nidu about Akash's condition, yet Nidu shows no appreciation or gratitude for his dedication. Riya feels upset seeing Akash being undervalued and taken for granted at his own workplace. Back at the police station, Sayali takes matters into her own hands. She approaches the constable and requests him to reveal the truth to the police inspector, that Sachin's accident was caused by a brake failure and not negligence. Through determination and courage, Sayali manages to obtain a photocopy of the original report confirming the car's mechanical defect. Using this crucial evidence, she successfully proves Sachin's innocence in front of the inspector. The truth comes out when the constable confesses, exposing Aaron's conspiracy and revenge-driven actions against Sachin. Aaron is harshly reprimanded for misusing his power and acting out of personal vendetta. With the truth established, Sachin's car is released, and he is warned to be cautious in the future. Sachin and Sayali are overwhelmed with joy as his license is finally restored. Upon returning home, Sachin and Sayali happily share the good news with the family. They explain how the accident occurred due to a brake failure despite regular servicing. This revelation unsettles Roshni, who becomes visibly nervous, fearing exposure. Sachin and Sayali begin to suspect that someone familiar had tampered with the car. At that moment, Renuka recalls seeing Roshni near the car on the night before the accident. Roshni immediately denies the accusation, insisting she did nothing wrong. However, she nervously adds that she never stole the car keys from Sachin's room, a statement no one had mentioned. This sudden and unnecessary clarification raises suspicion among the family members, leaving the episode on a tense and doubtful note. See you in the next. Much love.